Hello, my name is Rekutsko, and welcome back to the Duenkhy, where my hair consistently keeps getting more and more into my frickin' face! We're back into it, guys, which means that we are about to figure out what our character's reaction is to Cassius's ridiculous notion that he decided to spring upon us in the last episode, where we thought that it was gonna be much, much more serious than this. Way to cock block, Cassius. I need a hat. Okay, I know it looks stupid, but bear with me here. I need a hat, my hair is getting in my eyes, it's ridiculous, and it's starting to piss me off. So, let's go ahead. So he signed us up for a freaking music competition. Awesome. I have a feeling I know where this is going to be going to. On with it, on with it. My sentiments exactly. I know you're still learning, but you have a knack for memorizing songs. So all you'd have to do is memorize a couple of songs and I'd play accompanying guitar with some backup synths in my head. I think it could sound really great. I mean, where would we be playing though? And what would be the use? I know I should have asked for your permission before I signed us up, but, well, I didn't see you all week, and the deadline was today. See, yesterday I took the plunge and I signed us up. Oh, Cassis, you poor deluded individual, you. It's a band competition, so I need at least one other person, and I don't have any other friends who play an instrument, and yeah, I hope that's okay. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be too big of a problem, but I'm a little concerned about, like, why you kinda led me on there for a little bit. You know, I was expecting a lot more. My mind goes blank for a moment. The idea of performing in front of others isn't so bad when it's an idle fantasy at the back of your mind, but when it's something actually about to happen, that's an entirely different beast. Tell me about it. Me performing in front of a whole bunch of people always gets my nerves running like really crazy like. So whenever I go and perform at a bar or something like that, or at like a small show, you can bet that I'm gonna be nervous. My palms get sweaty, and freaking there's vomit on my sweater already from mom's spaghetti. I've never been the center of anyone's attention, let alone an audience's. I can't say from experiences if I freeze up or get sweaty palms, since I never had experience. I have no clue how I'll handle it. Will I freak out and faint on the stage? It's really not that bad. I mean, first, you get really nervous. Yes, your palms do get sweaty. It's really easy to do that, especially if you're playing guitar. You might slip a pick out of your hands every now and then. As long as you have some extra ones in your pocket or something like that, you can kind of just go with it. It gets easy. It gets easier as time goes on. And granted, I still get nervous whenever I get up on stage myself. I usually get better after like one song, no problem. I think my conflicting jumble of thoughts is reflected in my face, because Cassius looks up at me and wrings his hands once more. For fear of leading him to believe that I'm angry with him, I find myself blurting an answer with a little forethought. Sounds great. When's the performance date? Oh, did you really just get yourself into this mess, man? Look what you did. Now you got him all worked up. He's gonna be happy. He's gonna be excited. And oh, look at him. Look at him. Look at him just get all happy. Look at him get all happy. You little bitch. Sorry. Cassius's body loosens with visible relief. Now for 4 more months. So we've got plenty. Oh, 4 months? Jeez, that's not soon at all. And I've already started writing songs, so we have a head start on that front. Okay, that's doable, I think. If you had said next week, I might have died right there. Oh no, I'll make sure to never spring anything on you last minute. I mean, I've still got a lot of practicing to do beforehand, but at least this gives me a little bit of time. I'd appreciate that. So, I've gotta ask, what's the prize? Oh, right, the winners get $100 in a record deal, as well. $100 and a record deal? Okay, hold up. The new colony to discuss. Okay, wait, just wait. Shut the music off! Okay, so we get $100, yes, split between us, which is $50, and then a fucking record deal? Please, let me know. Does this make sense to you guys at all? $100 split between 2 people. Maybe even possibly more. If we were a bigger band, which I'm sure there's going to be bigger bands there, then we also get a record deal on top of that, which could possibly lead to more money. I would think the record deals are a little bit more, I don't know. I feel like it should be a bigger cash prize if it's included in a record deal. But I get that if it's a record deal, that would be your bigger prize. I just feel like $100 is a really, really weird random number plus a record deal. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you understanding me right now? Alright, back to the game. About what I'd expect from a music kit. Not what I would expect! $100 isn't that big of a prize when it's split between... I'm glad we're catching it here. And I probably want Cassis to have the larger chunk of it anyway, since he's orchestrated and everything. But a record deal? That could do a lot for Cassis. It could be the beginning of a real music career for him. And I might not know much about music, but I know enough to know that opportunities like that don't happen every day. What kind of jerk would I be to take that chance away from him? I mean, you'd be a pretty big jerk, but also a record deal worth $100? Oh, I'm so confused. Not bad at all. Where's this new colony, though? I've never heard of it. Oh, right. That actually ties back to that actually ties back into the Duenkhy culture thing. A Norman human probably wouldn't know about it, huh? Yeah, me being a normal human and all. There's actually been a project in place for the last couple of decades or so to rebuild a place for Duenkhy to live, to make up for our old world, you know? There's still entities alive that have been around long enough to remember the loss. World? There used to be a whole other world for Duenkhy? I mean, I guess that would make sense, but where did the Duenkhy come from? I have so many questions that aren't going to be answered here. I'm a little concerned. I struggle to keep up with his words. With some effort, I recall bits and pieces of middle school history classes that briefly discussed the world of Duenkhy as it was back in the times of health and prosperity. For humans, 100 plus years is enough for a buffer to regard such events as ancient by now, but as Cassis said, there's still Duenkhy out there who experienced the death of their homeland in person. That is insane! Lady flashes through my mind. Did she witness the death of the Duen? She's never made a point of explicitly stating her age. And come to think of it, I don't think I've ever heard her speak of the planet. Okay, so they lived on a completely separate planet, which is awesome. There's some, like, little bit of the shit kind of revolved there for a second. In any case, they make a breakthrough a couple of years ago and found an inhabitable planet. Oh no. There's been rallies to rebuild there ever since, and a lot of Duenkhy businesses have set up headquarters there to encourage more civilians to move over. I can't help blinking a few times in surprise. Maybe it's just me, but the concept of another inhabitable planet cropping up seems like the kind of information that would be paraded all over the news. Information on the whole thing has been sort of contained in Duenkhy media. For one, they don't want to compete with humans for ownership. For another, I think there's a human higher-ups eager for the chance to potentially ship us all off. He says it's contained information, but I can't imagine anything like that staying under wraps for too long. Already my mind is buzzing with the questions about the details, but I have a feeling that those should wait. I feel like this is completely effed. I don't like the idea that humans would be so unaccepting of these individuals to the point where we'd want to ship them off to another world. It just seems like that's kind of a thing that would happen in, like, really crazy freaking, like, effed up cultures. And this has to be set sometime or, like, in the future or something. Like, I don't know, I can't remember if there was, like, a year that was given to us, like a date, but I have a feeling that this would be, like, kind of more so into the future of our time, at least, because it's, I don't know, it just seems really, really weird that human, like, mankind wouldn't be able to, you know, accept this kind of culture that we've dealt with for how long now? In that, like, amount of time. I feel like we would have already, like, made some progress with that. It would have been the same way with, like, other races and stuff like that we've had to deal with before in the past. And granted, yeah, it took a while for a lot of cultures to be blended into America and stuff, but we still got there within time. And I know that there's still times where a lot of races are unwelcome into America, but I believe that within time, that's also going to change too. It's like the same thing of history repeating itself over and over again. I'm sorry, I really got into something really weird there for a second, but I find it really interesting, like, this little bit of information that we just got kind of, like, ties into a lot of other crazy crap that's been going on within our world as well, and not just this alternate universe that we're exploring within for the Duenkhy. I'm still digesting the whole music competition thing. I don't know if I've got the power to wrap my thoughts around the entire planet right now. Bleh, whatever. In any case, I've never been into it, but I heard it's very beautiful. And it'd be a real privilege to go to see it if you did when we win. Speaking of ships, have you been on a Duenkhy spaceship before? I mean, no, this is crazy. I mean, why would I? I'm a human. The answer seems obvious, but I shake my head no anyway, too dumbstruck to form a decent reply. I mean, if we won, then they would know that I wasn't a Duenkhy eventually. Wouldn't that harm his reputation too? Like, it would kind of put everything, like, sort of, like, way out there for him. Like, people would know, they would get upset, and they'd be like, oh, he cheated because he used a non-Duenkhy. You know what I mean? I feel like this is just going to be a whole ball of mess that's ended up going to fuck Cassis up in some way. Neither have I, but I've heard they're really incredible. They can go much, much faster than human ships, so that's why we were able to find this planet before humans did. I feel like that would be really weird for humans not to be able to incorporate the Duenkhy community's technology within their own. Especially something like that. I have a feeling that there's like a lot more under wraps here than we're getting, but also it could just be an unexplained part of the story that we'll never get to. Until the developer, of course, finishes the game, which unfortunately it's still within this demo mode right now. He sounds like he's about to go off on a tangent about the technical nipples, but to my relief he doesn't. Instead, he folds his hand pleasantly and perches himself on a beanbag. I follow his example. Man, a human. I can't believe I didn't figure it out sooner. Living here must be so strange for you. I'd be scared to live so far away from anyone remotely like me. It's already hard enough to live amongst different Duenkhy. It's definitely challenging. I have to be careful of everything I do. You won't have to worry about that anymore. I'll teach you everything you'll ever have to know. I'm surprised Lady hasn't already shown you the ropes, to be honest. She seems to be a chatty person. I think she's so used to me being the way I am, she forgets that I don't know my head way around her turf yet. Or maybe she's afraid of making me feel like I have a lot to fit in with something foreign, like she wants me to retain my human identity or something. I'm really screwing up these scripts, guys. I'm so sorry. It's been a long couple days, and my hair keeps getting in my eyes. I couldn't care less about that. I just want to live here normally, like any other Duenkhy. I feel like I'm off track here. Where am I at? Where's my webcam at? Hi! Huh. Do you hate human culture? Is that why you moved here? Human culture. There's too much variety amongst humans to really pen us down with any significant culture. I'm gonna say significant because that's the word that came out of my mouth. But Cassis isn't talking about that. What really comes down to it is how I feel about humans as a whole, which is true. Do I hate humans? I feel like he doesn't really hate humans. I think he just hates the culture that he was born into, and how unaccepting they are of him as a person. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he hates them. I think hate is a really strong word to use in any sense of the word. There should be only a specific, thing that you could adhere towards the word hate. And that's for, things that really go against you as a person, personally. So I'm gonna say no. I don't. Not really, anyway. I've dealt with bad ones, but there were ones that could have been good, I think. The ones who let me eat lunch at their table or asked me if I was okay. I've never really made good connections with any of them, but they were probably good people. I was just too withdrawn into myself to look for them. What if it turns out that Jun is which I actually found out, guys, the name of the main character, his real name is actually Jun, which I think is a thing in Japanese or something like that refers to you yourself or something. I can't remember, but there was a basis behind it for the game. But obviously we named our character Rekutsko because duh. But getting off of that fact, Cassis nods along to my words as if I were telling him something he'd already heard before. Yeah, I understand. I've had that happen before. He doesn't elaborate, but his thoughts are implied heavily enough for me to fill in the blanks. He felt lonely amongst his own kind before as well. Maybe he's dealt with, or is dealing, with same way that I did, by withdrawing. Which would make sense, because that's kind of how his person is. He's a very shy, kind of recluse kind of dude. That's why he's been trying so hard to find someone who would understand him, not just from a cultural standpoint, but from an emotional one. In any case, I don't think humans are so bad. There's lots of nice things about them. Yeah, like what? Like, they usually have really nice hair. And of course you don't have hair. He just his hands over the surface of his keyboard head as if he really needs to emphasize his own lack of... I mean, if he had hair, it'd be a little bit weird, but I could kind of see him having like a weird long braid kind of thing. I don't know, it's just weird. Some of them are bald, though. And almost all the humanoid Duenkhy have nice hair, too. I guess that's true. Maybe it's just you, then. Oh, he complimented us for the first time! You think so? I rake my fingers through my bangs again, this time a little more slowly, taking a moment to consider the texture. I've never thought of any aspect of my appearance as particularly praiseworthy, but I guess my hair is. Brown and flat and completely stylish. Yeah, no, I can't find anything significant about it, but I still remember enough of my manners to know that denying this compliment might come across as ungrateful, so I drop a shy gaze in my lap and bite my bottom lip. Aww, he's so shy. Aww. It's too sweet for me right now. It's too sweet. It's too sweet. Moving on. Oh, getting a little weird. I guess I don't mind. Do you mind if I touch it? Huh? Your hair. I've never touched a humanoid's hair before. May I? I'll let you touch my keys and I feel like this just reached a whole different emotional level right now. This is getting a little along the lines of you know, stuff. A nod before I've had the chance to really consider the exchange. Some automatic part of myself deeming this a good learning opportunity. After all, he's been adamant in the past about keeping his keys to himself. For him to so freely offer them as compensation must really be interested in my lackluster locks. He might even envy me a little. I don't understand it myself, but I'll do what I can do to allay his curiosity. Only slightly embarrassed, I offer my head towards his approaching hand, expecting a tentative hat on my head like someone nudging a dog. Ah! And we're greeted with another amazing scene. Even though a lot of the backgrounds and like the BGs and stuff like that haven't been like necessarily like fully completed, they still hold that same emotional weight. What I get instead is one hand tugging at the rubber band holding my hair into a short ponytail, the other one settling lightly against my cheek. I feel my face burn at the closeness of it all, the novelty of such fond treatment and lighting a fire just beneath my skin. You look so different without a mask on. Doesn't it get uncomfortable? Sometimes, especially when it's hot. The word sticks to the roof of my mouth like peanut butter. For some stupid reason. My face must be completely red, when I find myself almost itching for the protection of said mask despite my skin's elevated temperature. Especially when it's a warm day. I see. It must be inconvenient sometimes having nerves on your face. Though he speaks of inconvenience, his tone carries a hint of longing. I'm unsure of how to interpret that longing's direction. With my hair freed of its band, he hastens to run dexterous, calloused fingers through it. He's not at all tentative like I thought he would be. No, it's more like an analysis. He's teaching himself. He's committing the experience to memory. That doesn't stop the gesture from being embarrassing. Somehow, it's too intimate for me. He might see this as an innocent experiment, but it reminds me too much of something a couple would do. My face is pretty much identical to a normal keyboard in every way. I don't think you'll find it very interesting, but if you want to try it out, go ahead. I'm so focused on my own embarrassment that I forego about his offer for me to assess his head. It sounds strange, but I guess this is just a strange situation. I reach for his face, which is easy to reach because of my slight height advantage over him. I remember my lessons. Press a single chord into his keys, curious to compare the sound of it to his practiced keyboard. Come coming from his head, it reverberates slightly differently, but otherwise bears great resemblance to every other keyboard I've ever heard. Cassis offers no signs of discomfort or embarrassment, but he does halt his own hands for a moment. My parents have always seen me as a disappointment, I think. What? Because in my head, I mean. They never actually said anything about it, but I just sense it, you know? I can feel their disappointment. As far as an object head genetics lottery goes, they got really unlucky. After all, I'm just a dinky 2-octave children's toy. There's barely even enough room to play the ABCs on me. It's downright embarrassing. I'm disappointed in me too. Not like I had choice in the matter, but... He hangs his head in shame. Once again, I feel my past feelings reflected in him like a mirror image. I wish I could reassure him that everything will be alright, but I'm still picking up the pieces from my own damages. Hey, Rekutsko, do you know you have a bald spot in the back of your head? Oh no! I recoil from the hand that he had threaded through my hair, almost falling backwards from how quickly I move away. My own hand flies up to the spot he was touching, clasping a small patch of skin as if to shield it away from him, though it's impossible to notice beneath the rest of my hair. That's... I bite my cheeks so hard that I start to taste iron. Embarrassment altogether different from them, more unpleasant than what I'd been experienced just a few moments ago, sloshes across me like a bucket of cold water, and a shiver in its icy aftermath. How could I forget? My fingerprints searched for the old mark. A tiny patch of smooth, hairless skin no larger than a quarter at the back left-ish area of my head, and find it in the same place as it's been for years. I'm the only person who knows about it. Never felt the need to tell anyone about it, and it's impossible to notice if you're not actively searching for it. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and edit here because I'm way past the point of going over time for this. So we'll find out exactly what that little bald patch of hair, the bald patch of no hair is on our main character's head is in the next episode, I'm sure. But for now, I will see you guys in the next one, so thank you very, very much for watching. I really hope that you are going to be looking forward to the upcoming new year with us. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to share it with you guys, and I hope that we can create an even bigger community together and share all of this love as much as we can, at least. So please click on that little button on my face down there to subscribe to the channel to get these quickly as possible to your face, and the other videos off to the side there that are going to lead you to some extra content that I am making right now. I'll see you later. Peace out.